The latest anti-Trump attacks from the left targeting the president's war on cartels. Let's bring in political commentator and former Democrat Natalie Beisner, along with political consultant Michelle Backus. Thank you both for coming on. I mean, Natalie, you heard it right there. I mean, I don't know what it is about the media and the Democrats, but they always decide, and maybe it is anti-Trumpism, they always decide, you know what, I'm just going to go on the wrong side of every issue, just cuz.
Yeah, you know, when Democrats are defending criminals, Chris Van Hollen is somewhere not far behind. But I'm surprised it took us so long to go to war with the cartels. So many presidents have paid lip service to being against the cartels. We had the war on drugs, which was really about punishing American citizens. But Donald Trump is the first one to recognize them as the terrorist organizations that they are. And we had Obama do drone strikes, including on American citizens overseas, including on a 16-year-old American citizen. And the media largely ignored it. We have hundreds of thousands of Americans dead from illegal drug overdose. According to the DHS right now, in the last 4 years, over 64,000 pounds of fentanyl was seized at the southern border, which is enough to kill well over 1 billion people. To me, that seems like an implicit war on the American people that's been going on for decades.
Yeah, we played old video today about the left during the Obama thing. Like, oh, he has the power to do that. Yeah, he'd kill American citizens if he wants to. Well, of course, he's the president. He can do whatever he wants to. Here's the Kristi Noem edited versus unedited thing at CBS. This is what she posted on X, Michelle. I'll get your take.
And the one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he doesn't walk free in the United States of America. This individual was a known human smuggler, a MS-13 gang member, an individual who was a wife beater, and someone who was so perverted that he solicited nude photos from minors. And even his fellow human traffickers told him to knock it off. He was so sick in what he was doing and how he was treating small children.
So now, Michelle, CBS Face the Nation released a comment saying that Face the Nation will only do live or live-to-tape videos. And I wonder, do you think they're feeling the pressure? Are they starting to kind of lean toward fairness here? What's your thought on the new ownership over there?
I'm just shocked it took them this long to actually do that, Trace. I mean, you look at what happened. I mean, this past July, you would have thought that they learned their lesson. But yet again, we have another situation in which we're trying to hide the illegal situations that are happening. We're trying to defend these criminals. We saw it obviously earlier. Now we're seeing it again with the mainstream media. I think at this point, when are people going to wake up? We're already seeing people move towards different mediums. This is just another example of why they can't trust a lot of these outlets.
Yeah. Meantime, you have Ben Shapiro saying that Democrats they're embracing a brand new type of wokeism. Watch.
To get to economic wokeness, all you have to do is replace the word racial with economic. And now you say economic disparities are in and of themselves signs of economic discrimination. Economic discrimination is ordinary, not aberrational. It's not just that there's one price gouger out there. It's the whole system is designed to price gouge. And who's it designed by? It's designed by rich people, not white people, rich people, to discriminate against the poor.
So you have the rich that are oppressing the poor here, Natalie, and that's the whole thing is they're going to try this out. So it's economic. And you use new words and you test them out and see how they're going to work, how they're going to resonate. And if they don't, you change the word again.
This might be unpopular, but I actually think this is very dangerous for Republicans. I think if Democrats leave their unpopular culture war opinions behind and just focus on economics, they could be competitive again. Right. Zohran Mamdani has tapped into a pain point of younger people, especially who in many ways justifiably do feel priced out of like owning a home. And the answer to that is not becoming a victim, asking for government handouts. But young people do not know the ills of socialism. I didn't even learn it in school, and I'm much older, and I don't think it's gotten any better. So you have people who have justified concerns in many ways, and then they're also ignorant on this. So I think Republicans have to watch it and not give an inch when it comes to our status as the party of the working class. And we can't dismiss it as woke. I'm not saying Ben Shapiro is dismissing it, but we have to be on our guard.
All about the economy. Wall Street Journal on the UFC coming to the White House, Michelle. Fighter weigh-ins and press conference are planned to be held on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, said the people familiar with the discussions, emphasizing that plans are still in the early stages, could change. Plans could change, but the fight is on. I've got 20 seconds for you, Michelle. What do you think?
Let's bring it. And what better time to do it? We're getting the crime out of D.C. We're going to have a great celebration. You know, it really embodies President Trump and who he is. He wants to celebrate. I'm here for it. Honestly, I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of people are excited. A lot of young people are kind of migrating toward the Republican Party. Michelle, Natalie, thank you both.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.